Good evening. Nova Scotia's Premier says he is disgusted by the images seen this week of sick and dirt-encrusted animals at a Cape Breton animal shelter. Celtic Animal Rescue is in Rodney MacDonald's provincial riding of Inverness. And tonight, the Premier is making a pledge to ensure what happened to animals there doesn't happen again. Global's Russ White reports.
Images from Saturday's seizure disturbed many Nova Scotians. Even the Premier says he was sickened.
So this is a situation which is unacceptable. Animals deserve to be protected.
Premier MacDonald says rules governing animal shelters and their inspection will be reviewed.
Well, I felt very disappointed. The animals that we have, be it in a shelter or be it on a farm or be it in a household, deserve to be respected. They deserve to be ensured that their safety, their health is looked after and maintained. And as a province, we'll make sure that that happens.
The Premier is not alone in his disgust over what happens.
Embarrassed, I must say.
Port Hawkesbury is one of several local communities which contract out animal control services. They were paying Celtic Animal Rescue a $500 monthly retainer fee, plus $20 per call. The town official says just last month, a local vet inspected the facility for them and found nothing wrong.
Maybe we should have been more cautious as to what was going on, but we'll address it immediately and look after the situation.
The raid on the Celtic Animal Shelter has left the town of Port Hawkesbury in a bit of a quandary. It must now decide what it's going to do about its problem cats and dogs.
We do have our shelter that was in place at our Public Works facility that's been there for about 15 years. And we're now cleaning it up to make sure that it will meet our animal control requirements within the town.
Council will meet in special session tonight to decide who will actually pick up the animals now that Celtic is out of the picture. Russ White, Global News, Port Hawkesbury.
The head of Nova Scotia's SPCA says she is encouraged by the Premier's promise of tougher regulations. Pam Keddy says they need the power to inspect any facility where animals are being kept and at any time.
If we go to those premises and the owner, operator of that facility says no, leave, we have to leave. And we cannot get a warrant to go in and inspect. Our warrants are to go in and seize. So it is difficult because that does impede us. If we could freely go on to properties when we're doing investigations, that would definitely assist because then that would rule out right away or get the information that we need right away.
The animal rescue community in Nova Scotia is still trying to understand just what happened in Cape Breton. Zonda McIsaac, a woman involved, knew many people in the rescue circles, and the idea of one of their own being responsible for animal cruelty is causing some to worry that a shadow will be cast on all private rescue organizations. Global's Terry Trembath has that story.
Janet Chernin runs a doggy daycare in Halifax. She has also fostered dogs for more than 10 years.
I have fostered dogs for Zonda, and they arrived at my home in good condition, and I was able to find them homes.
But when Chernin saw the conditions at Zonda MacIsaac's Cape Breton Animal Rescue, the floors covered with urine and feces, dogs and cats being left alone, malnourished, she knew it could mean trouble for other rescue organizations.
We are worried that the public perception has been tarnished, and unfortunately, this is an isolated incident.
Daryl Gould has been with the Bidewile Animal Shelter in Dartmouth for 19 years.
How well you take care of the animals inside, from our perspective, is you increase your turnaround time by keeping the animals healthy and so on and so on. So if strict attention is paid to the animals that we have in our shelter to rehome them, that allows us a situation to bring in new animals.
The Bidewile shelter, like others, is self-governed for the most part. They have a board of directors made up mainly of volunteers. Gould says they welcome any changes or additions to regulations and rules.
We are in charge of these animals. There has to be a responsibility. There has to be a responsibility if you don't follow through on taking care of these animals. So, if there's rules and regulations, I see nothing wrong in that.
Gould says the rescue business can be very overwhelming.
I could not stand here and tell you that I think someone intentionally started the shelter to intentionally do that. Okay, how the situation ended up that way, I don't know. But people have a very hard time turning away animals. It's one of the things that I'll tell my staff. We have to think with our head and feel with our heart. And if you think with your heart, it's sometimes not the best situation.
Terry Trembath, Global News, Dartmouth.
Searches by ground